Hello there folks, SeKo Starcraft here, hyper speeding a replay. It was a long one, very long one. It was a thicky and a fatty. So I'm speeding up super fast here at the beginning, otherwise we'll be here all day. But it's me going tearing up against a Protoss. Decided I was going to do a little unranked play. It's pretty fun. But anyways, we see everything's pretty normal at this point, doing a bit of scouting. Do go for my engineering bay block, because I love me some engineering bay blocks. And some marines. Economy's doing pretty good, you know, that whole thing. And, yeah. So, anyways, the reason this game is very long is I'm still deciding that I prefer to play Mech. Oh, I didn't get the probe! It was right there. That's right. Because of the engineering bay block, I throw down the bunker, because sometimes you just totally screw people over. As we can see, our Protoss buddy has got a ton of resources here saved up. So it looks like he's ready to go throw down that Nexus. Haha. Haha. Probe comes up, gets shot down. I'm going into a factory because I would like to go for some widowmine drops behind this, which is sometimes a risk because sometimes if they can't get out a Nexus, what they'll do is they'll throw down the tech that they want. But in this instance, we're going to do alright. And throughout this game, I've really had no intention of playing a longer game. Look at the money built up for this guy too. Finally going to throw down pretty much most of his tech. And then he's going to start his Nexus right now. For me behind this, making sure I don't get supply blocked. Starport's about to finish up. First two widowmines are done. Threw a reactor on there as well. And we'll be on our way. Second gas. Really delaying my economy in this game quite a bit. Deciding I'd rather go for something a little different. Scan, do see the robo. Sometimes that means that your widowmine job ain't going to do jack. But I gotta try. Command center's going down behind this, but as we can see, quite a ways behind where my opponent is at here. Still, no biggie. Stalker on the watchtower. I'm pretty sure he doesn't see this come in. Everything seems so slow once you go back to resuming normal speed. Double gas. If we look at the units wise, he's actually not up by as much workers as I would have thought for a Protoss player with Chrono Boost and a Nexus finished already. But we will see how long that stays in place. Immortal on the way as well. Sometimes you can go for really nice immortal busts. I don't mind using the immortals. Double Forge going down really fast. Looks like he's not interested in playing a really fast game either. But he won't see the widowmines come in here. 2 kills, 5 kills, nice shots. Grab it and I'll actually just get out of there. I mean, sometimes you can leave him in the base, but I know he had an observer out. If not, you can Chrono Boost out a second one fast enough anyways. Widowmines scattered around in different spots just to make sure that they're okay. Second factory going down, command center moving over. Still producing double probes, he hasn't slowed down a bit. My armory's on the way, but obviously his upgrades a bit faster. When you're playing mech, you can't really afford to do everything, so my upgrades are going to take a bit of a backseat. Lots of widowmines in the front though. I mean, yes, he could come out with this observer and snipe them down, but it slows down his push. And what I want to be able to do is make sure I've got enough time to get my tanks out to stay alive. So we can see supply-wise it's actually not too different. Economy, still got a pretty good lead. Orbital command's just getting made right now. And I'm making only, well, I can only make one SV at a time, though I'm not at the moment. See the army in the back of the base? Take out a couple of zealots. I mean, I'd rather get out economy. But killing 2 zealots ain't a problem either. Just get damage in, and then I'm just going to I was thinking about running back around on the other side, but at this point I'm sure he's going to be in position to deal with it, so I'm actually just going to go for blocks with my widowmines on the expansion spots just to slow things down. First tank is already out. Command center done. Units wise. Down a ton in economy because I've been doing so much time on my micro. Everything else should be alright. Speed it up again here, as I said. We're both playing pretty passive at the beginning of this game. Chrono boosting all of his upgrades, more immortals. Gonna be in a pretty good position for a pretty big push. Tanks, hellbats. Do I have +1 finished yet? I don't know if I even started my upgrades. Yeah, +1's finished. No, it's not. Ha. Observer's gonna come in, he's gonna see the widowmines. He's gonna try and scout and shoot, take a few out. I do want to save them though, in case there's a lot of zealots with this push. 2 tanks, 3 tanks, lots of hellbats. Feeling pretty good position. Blue Flame started nice and early. And we can see he's still producing a ton of SCVs. So I'm doing great. This guy's actually delayed. He's got 4 kills. Alright, because I used him on the other thing as well. And this will delay him and send him back home again. Where's that observer? Ha! One more kill just for good measure. So that's pretty good. And as you can see, I've put widowmines in a couple of important spots around the map just to check for things. Another command center is on the way, as I know he'll be going up to his third. Moving into double tank, double hellbat, blue flame +1, and I'm also getting ravens out here soon. Ravens are going to be very important in this game, as I'm going to be attempting to do more, I don't want to say passive, but I'm going to be doing more of a layback style defending. You're going to need to have those out. Alright, we'll go back to normal speed for the rest of this here, as we should be moving along just fine. Getting some missile turrets down in good spots. What I don't want to be is caught off guard by. Sometimes you can see mass void array switches, other times you want to be able to deal with drops. If you're mech, it's very hard to get back into position, so dealing with warp prisms is very important as well. Starting my +1 armor right away. Fourth factory down, and getting some more widow mines out. So, pretty good positioning. His Nexus is finished economy-wise. Guy's killing it on economies, up to 62 workers, so he's doing fantastic. A little bit of a hellbat drop here. 2 kills. How many kills I got for workers so far this game? 13 worker kills, just keeping them honest. I was thinking we'll drop in the blue flame and bring in these zealots and fight them. Might have been able to do some cutesy micro. Not going to worry about it too much. I don't remember if I used this again. That's kind of funny. Back at home, just start to move out slowly. When you're playing mech, you can't risk spreading your army too thin and getting caught out of position. So moving in chunks, making sure I'm sieged. Widow mines give me some early warning. Command center going down, and I was expecting this Protoss player to be so aggressive in this game. When you're playing against a mech player, you either have two options: go crazy eco and just try to push ahead in that instance, or you got to try to punish him early on before he gets out those big numbers. You can see he's getting out a little mixture of both. Good upgrades. Storm's almost finished. Colossus on the way. Did he get range? Yeah, range is already done. Upgrades still going on there. Things moving on to 2-2. Yeah, guy's doing really, really good. Back on my side here, trying not to be supply blocked too much. You can see my supply is climbing really quickly, so I'm having a tough time staying ahead of my supply blocks. I did throw down the planetary here. It's a bit newbie-ish. I probably didn't need that because of how defensive I was playing. But as I said, I was expecting to be a lot of pressure coming in as a part of this guy's play. It really didn't happen. Spreading out some units into different parts now. Just want to be able to see if he's going to be attacking through different avenues, so I can readjust as needed. Actually getting building armor at the same time, which actually might come into play as we get later into this, dealing with some of those zealots. For me, need to get these gases started. My economy's still fairly poor, only on 53 workers right now, not really that great. More widow mines, and I'm starting to get that raven number moving out, up to 4 already. Going for a very high stalker amount, even if he was going to move into something like, shoot, the hell was I thinking about? Some of the air units, you're going to be able to use those point defense drones to keep you alive. So the air control for me is going to be a very important part of this game. I don't really want to give that up at any point, because I don't really have a lot of air defense. Some, widow mines, missile turrets, just a smattering of units out front here. This observer is going to come in, and I'm actually going to have detection for it. Funny enough, it does a lot of friendly fire damage because it flew right over my units. Nice feedbacks, but I had cast all my energy already. Pretty good splits, but he took a lot of damage on a lot of his units for that. Looks like he will still try to push into this here. Blue flame is done, remember. All these zealots that are the meat shield are getting eaten up really fast. Some tanks in the back. Storms are really good. It's killing off a lot of these hellbats, but the hellbats are once again just there as a bit of a meat shield. Unfortunately, I used all my energy for my point defense drones. He is going to snipe down a few of these, which is really shitty for me. Those are very expensive. I don't want to lose them that cheaply. Missile turrets are actually taking out the Colossus here. That was really funny to see. And then you see the supplies. I'm back in a good position. He does have a 4th base started. A lot of cannons down. Cannons in his different parts of his base. Man, I think I forgot about this drop all game. It might be killing some suspense, whatever. Killed his base. Going to take another expansion. Still building more units. He's going to go into Void Ray now. He sees a lot of tank hellbat, so a lot of the times the solution is to go for air units. Void Rays do very good against armored, of course. Going to move out 3 Hellions just to see if this base is taken or not. It is obviously taken and very well defended. But they're cheap at this point. Just sending around units to different spots to make sure everything is taken care of. More command centers down. Production doing pretty good. Probably should get some more production facilities. We see I'm spending my money really well right now. Protoss player pretty low on the minerals, which is why I would have liked to have seen him, though I wouldn't have, but I suppose for the sake of viewership. Maybe some proxy pylons. Throw away, 8 or 9 zealots, come down here and harass on different angles. It obviously would be difficult, but you just put in the Terran in a less comfortable position. Right now I'm feeling great. Production's doing good. Lots of buildings, lots of units. Upgrades, I got 1-1, plus 2 is on the way. His units, I believe, are 3-2, 3-3 finishing up soon, so really good upgrades. More gateways. Just powering out like a beast right now. I had some Marines left over from a bunker earlier on, I just kind of sent them to their death. Command center sneaking down. This guy's already finished over here. Few missile turrets. If you're playing against a Protoss player, always throw down some missile turrets, not because they're going to snipe Colossus all the time, as in the case of this missile turret here, which was hilarious, but just being able to deal with DTs. You don't want to be caught off guard, so I do have missile turrets scattered all over the place, so that way I would never get caught off guard. Good investment. I did have a widowmine here, I did delay this a little bit. This is down easier than I thought. Once again, I figured when I play Mech, I usually run against people that just press you all the time, and now that I know I'm going against somebody who's going to be hanging back a bit more, I actually got myself into a bit of a better position. I think I'm no, I'm not supply blocked. Double upgrades finally kicking in now. Planetary on the way, taking my gases. I don't need the gas as critically, but that's the thing in the late game where this game looks like it's going to go. I'm going to need the most of. Mining out wise, main pretty much mined out. Gas almost mined out here. That one's taken a bit later. This base as well. Actually, he's never even used this gas. It's a bit of a mistake. Oh well. Cleans up that base. Few scans on the way. Do see the fleet bacon. See him coming around this side. Oh no, there was my drop. Okay, at least he got shot down and I didn't waste that supply. Big repositioning of my units here. Once again, I need to be able to see where his army is. It's very important because I need it all in one position to deal with this. That's a pretty formidable army, I must say. I don't have the watchtowers right now, so I can't see exactly what's going on. Snipes off one of my widowmines at the front. Another planetary coming in. Yeah. And now I'm actually moving into making Vikings as well. I did see with my scan that he had Void Rays in this comp, so dealing with the Colossus and the Void Rays is going to require anti-air. Happily for me, he doesn't actually have a lot of Void Rays in this army, otherwise this might have been a bit more difficult for me. Lots of blue flame hellbats in the front. Tanks getting off a lot of shots. Hellbats tank up all of those zealots really fast. And then I take out all the Void Rays with Seeker missiles. Wish I had a few more Vikings. I'd be able to maybe take out some of these observers here. But I don't really want to get too far ahead and get blinked down. I didn't realize this entire army got massacred at that point. Tanks did their job. Actually didn't lose like any of those tanks. More Vikings in production. And he's moving into Tempests now. Now Tempests do get deflected by a point defense drone. Do see the additional Stargates on the way. So I'm doing alright. Another planetary finished over here. About to transfer some workers down. So I think I've, transferred out of my main. I actually don't have a ton of workers when I'm at 61. It's probably about the right number. More than that, it's going to be eating into too much of my units. Trying to build more command centers just to get out more of my detection. Not detection. I want to be able to use more scans as much as mules. Need to take my gases more efficiently there. Now my units are pretty packed up here. You'll see I eventually start splitting those around. I'm going to want to get them into better positions to be able to defend more fronts. But the difficulty is the Protoss always moves as a giant death ball. So splitting up your army all over the place can sometimes leave you pretty weak on a few fronts. Scan. His armies... Is it all in one spot? Oh, there's the Tempests. And some units from the main. Finally remember some of those units he had laying around. We'll bring them together. Pretty mined out on both those bases. This guy's getting pretty mined down as well. For me, Natural still got a bit left. Main, I've actually got a couple of chunks in there, but not much. This base, lots of minerals at it. This one, still lots of minerals. Haven't even gone after my gold. We got this one down here. Planetary, missile turrets. No, I'm actually getting maxed out pretty fast here. Air Army's getting pretty good. Planetary with the extra armor. Probably could have got the range. Might not have been a bad thing. Do scan and see what's coming in. So I want to start piecemealing my army down here. The trick is I don't want to be caught completely unsieged at any point. So we're going to see I'm going to try to just slowly push down here with my units. Get some point defense drones out. Point defense drones. Awesome. A lot of Tempests out really quickly here. Now they don't have any upgrades, whereas all my air army obviously has my 2-2 finished, 3-3 about halfway done. So I've got a really good upgrade lead in the air because of that. Looks like he's finally investing in some of them. Is he? What the hell is he getting? Oh, I think those are the crystals for phoenixes, which I don't remember if he ever got any phoenixes out in this game. Army is now in a good position. What I wanted to be able to do is protect my air army when I'm doing this. I don't want to be in a position where I could lose it all from just a couple of bad misclicks. Couple good lands of Seeker missiles there, softened up these Zealots a lot. Army's still in a good spot, lots of meat shield here. A little bit of feeling a little bit of pressure, but I'm pretty much maxed out. And I feel great about the composition that he has here. Snipe down that mothership core, might as well, it's expensive. He's moving into carriers. This was a really strange thing for me to see. Not that they're super terrible, but against like a Meching Terran with air superiority, didn't think they'd be that effective. I do have the watchtower here, so I do see the army, which is actually pulling me out of position. He's doing a really good job of dragging me back and forth at this point. I thought he was going to go for a base trade here. What I was able to do actually is catch a lot of his Tempests out in the open. So, a little hesitant here. Do have the planetary back here, and it's a pretty short rush distance in between, so I'm not super concerned if he did go base trading. But this is the opportunity I took to go and actually finally attack for the first time in a long time. I do see with the watchtower where his army is here. I actually cleaned out that mineral line pretty fast. Gonna try to make a run for it. Tanks don't look like they're gonna make it out of there. Couple more point defense drones going down, but he's invested in a lot of stalkers here. And not all my units are part of the hotkeys right now, so they're getting a little messed up. Take out a ton of zealots once again, blow through that. Look at the banks for both of us at this point as well. Pretty ridiculous. Some tanks, hellbats in position, still planetary with missile turrets. Not the easiest thing to push into. Doesn't have much for, like at this point, this is where storms would be really good. He researched storms very early on. Wait for the clumped up air units, get a ton of damage in. Snipe a chunk of those, making more ravens behind this. Let's look at his economy. Lots of idle probes over here. This gas is never taken actually at all. Idle probes. He's actually probably going to start blowing through his money pretty quick here now that he's, well, not mining from anything. All the gold base workers got killed off, and he's completely forgot about the other ones he's got left here. A lot of my units are very beat up. This is where I want to go on the offensive, and this is where things got really funky for me. My hotkeys aren't the way I normally do. I usually have my air army on 1 and the rest of my army on 2. And as we can see right now, I've got 1 Raven in this army. I'm going to pause for a second. And I didn't realize I'd trapped 1 Raven in this army, so I'm thinking about throwing a rocket at this army, but instead I'm like clicking on rocket or point defense drone, which is D, and unsieging all of my tanks. So we're going to see one of the messiest, stupidest things I've done in a long time. All the tanks, unsiege. I'm trying to throw down point defense drones. I unsieged all my tanks. Still, they're going to cut through most of these things. But that was done really poorly. It's again, sieging up. Still. Now I'm going to lose all these because the zealots get right on top of it. I'm going to lose a ton of my army because of this. And I actually thought I was in a really terrible spot right now. Supply-wise, I look like I'm not doing too bad. But that was a big hit for me. Lost all my tanks really badly. Blue Flame Hellbats are going to keep me moving a little bit longer. Clean up some of the zealots. Buy me a bit of time. Point defense drone, a couple of auto turrets. Whatever I can to just try and keep this going a bit longer. Because I gotta buy myself time to remake my entire army again. Did sneak down that gold base in the time being. So now I'm gonna speed it up again because we're both in a terrible... We feel in fairly terrible spots just because I lost a lot of my army, so I'm rebuilding. And I think he's kind of frustrated at this point because he's not been able to really accomplish a lot here. Couple of secret missiles, but he'll get out in their time. Stalkers are fast, but it's enough to ward him off for sure. The cool thing about blink is if you do blink out of the way, that secret missile will still trigger on where that stalker was. One random guy. Once again, my hotkeys completely screwed up, and this is why I realized I have like no production. Like I had 4 factories this whole game, two or 3 starports. Finally at a better position, 4 starports, 8 factories. Actually going to be able to start getting back into this game again. Spending my money, like I've got all this money to spend and I'm not doing it. Finally figured out how to take all my gases in these bases. We'll come over here and snipe this planetary. Fairly calculated risk. She killed 2 or 3 stalkers for his troubles, and that's not too bad. So many stalkers in this comp. Now stalkers obviously going to give them mobility, but they just get destroyed by tanks, and obviously secret missiles do a pretty good job as well. Now what I decided I'm going to do is I feel comfortable enough with the kind of composition, the upgrades, that I'm going to try and start spreading out my army. I'm going to start rallying over here, and I'm going to make a outpost out of the gold base and an outpost out of this base. Block off one entrance here, block off the other entrance here. Did he find all of his probes? Yes, he did. Still some idle ones kicking around. This gold base will mine through very quickly. Now he's got a ton of workers. How many workers he got left? 77. Maybe a little much. Income-wise, I mean, he's a little bit ahead because of the gold base. But really, that's not that big of a deal for the amount of... how many less workers I have on my composition. Pretty small smattering of army here. Air army's out of position right now because I'm trying to repair it all. Secret missiles actually go and hit those as well, just because I had to aim them at the stalkers, and the stalkers blinked out of the way. One tank over there is actually putting in a little bit of work. Tanks on the high grounds. Kills off some of those workers, but that really doesn't bother me too much. And this is once again, I had a problem with my hotkeys. I had it tabbed over to the control the Vikings and not... sorry, my Ravens here. So I almost got into a ton of trouble with that again. Just panic movement. I'm finding myself struggling sometimes. It's actually going to take a bit of a supply lead for a moment. More missile turrets going down, helping a lot. They do obviously have the building armor as well. Keep it going. Gold base is down, and here's my outpost on the way. More missile turrets, tanks, hellbats. A couple of random ravens in here still too. I think I find them. Yeah, I do find them as part of this. So he will take this down, but not for very cheap. And it doesn't bother me as much. Like, I have more buildings that I can float over. I'm going to try and snipe down all of these carriers. They're very expensive, take a long time to make, and I'll get out of there. One good secret missile. Another chunk of army just going to move in, take its spot. Blue flame is good, in case you didn't know. Move over here, simply retake this base, move the gold base over. Actually got a couple of idle workers still chilling. Army comp's a little funky. A lot of zealots in this. I mean, he's got a lot of minerals. Actually blew through all of his minerals. I didn't even notice that. He is taking this other base here finally. But that was strange. And this base down here has never even been challenged once. So, this base, almost mined out. Gas is just about mined out. This base, gold base, almost mined out. Gas has still got a bit in this one. Completely mined out. Forgot about this gas. That's actually a big deal for him. Completely mined out. He's got, what, $100? $300? More missile turrets. Yeah, just nice and patient. And I'm actually going to move into more widowmines again. I did notice in a lot of these fights there weren't any observers as part of the comp. Does he have any observers? he doesn't. It's gotten to that point where he feels like there isn't anything he needs to worry about detection for. Banshees might have been kind of cool as well, but I want the splash damage of the widowmines. Sending some SCVs to their death. Instead of running these guys away, I'm just going to transform them. See if I can't kill a few more units on the way out. Not bad. Missile turrets scattered everywhere. Widowmines now everywhere. I think I start getting widowmine burrow speed here pretty soon as well when I start transitioning into this. Should start up pretty quick. I remember doing that as I wanted to go into kind of a mass widowmine swap. Yeah, there's my widowmine burrow speed. It's interesting how this little smattering of army has actually been able to kind of keep me in the game as long as I have the air control. Nice flying V of widowmines there. Do you see he's got some high Templars in here finally? The storms will be very effective. Some cannons going down at this base just to keep it alive. He can't really afford a lot. I didn't realize he's getting that starved down. For me and my gases, I think I realized pretty soon as well that I haven't actually taken my gases. Like any of these bases. Couple of gold seeker missiles, just catching him off guard. He does have blink for stalkers, I believe. Yeah. Bit of a risk to jump in. You don't know where the tanks are, and they could destroy a lot of things if they do that. Burrow speed, just about to finish up here. Is it Tunneling Claws? Yeah, it's Tunneling Claws. I actually was going to send some widowmines up to go burrow behind here, but they did get sniped. One random void ray in here, so you got a kill. He's got some experience. Burrow so fast. I love that. It's so threatening. Like, what are you going to do? Run into that? Good luck. Now, at this point, like, he's at that economy point where I think he's actually got to start worrying about playing more hit and run and being a little bit more cost effective. If we look at units lost, I mean, he's lost 13,000 more resources than I have. He finally get maxed out again. Once the armies nicely spread out, different spots. Widowmines and the air army now are moving as my back and forth piece. The good thing is the scans have really showed, like, as long as I scan where his army is, he generally just backs out. He knows that I'm in a position to prepare for that. Still think if he did a trade to get my air army, it'd be worthwhile. He could bait all my air army, get some storms on it. I really don't have the gas to replace these. I still haven't taken the gases at a lot of my bases. Oh, none of them hit. How sad. If I'd been able to hit those high Templars with those Seeker missiles, that would have been a pretty big deal. So, I've got enough CCs everywhere now with scans that I should be able to just almost continuously see where his army is. He's going to send a couple Zealots in just to try and do a little bit of harass damage. Nice Widowmine hit on all my units there. I thought that was great. Killed my own turret. Why not? I do see that the mothership core is warping in. I thought that was really cool that he's actually going to try the mothership core. And that's not cheap to get that thing either. I don't know what his plan was with that. I mean, I've got so many Vikings. I didn't think that would really be... Well, I don't have that many anymore. Only 9. They haven't as many Colossus or other air units to shoot. Pretty good hits. Softened up a bit of units, but took out that mothership core is the important part. More stalkers on the way. Still have all these widowmines here. Sending in the SCVs to their death. How many am I at anyways? Only at 32, but I have a lot of energy now for getting out. So what was I thinking about there? A lot of energy to be able to get out. Burrow, you buggers! Wow, they got all the High Templars in that. I didn't really see what's happening during that fight for the most part. So you'll get a command center there. Doesn't bother me too much. He lost so many units in that. Archons, High Templars, Void Rays, all of his Zealots are dead. So he lost a pile for taking out that command center. And I think I'm just going to float my main over there, yeah. think it's pretty soon that I realized that I haven't taken my gases at, a couple of my bases here. More hellbats. I've got lots of minerals to spend. That's what I think I noticed. Like, wow, I've got all these minerals that I can be spending right now. That's great. So I can get lots and lots of hellbats. But that's not going to work great against like fully upgraded blink stalkers. Scan, see where his army is at. Point defense drones. She's trying to blink on top of the tanks. She's going to get shot in the face. Almost loses his observer as well. I actually want to be able to go for Raven pressure soon. The old classic SeKo Starcraft, tons of Ravens. Drop, auto turrets in the face all over the place. These only get that one observer, which is what I really want to snipe here. If I do that, then my widowmines kind of reign supreme. I do get it. Costs like a couple Vikings, but without that observer, he's in a bit of a tough spot. I mean, he should be making other ones here very soon. Lots of stalkers, but without detection for the widowmines, be in a bit of trouble. More point defense drones going down. Oh, he does have one observer in there. Almost lost it in that engagement, though. At this point, as the... Oh, I finally find all my idle workers here, I think. Yeah, there we go. I'm thinking, what does the Protoss player have to do? What? Finally getting to try a Warp Prism. I don't remember ever seeing that during the game. But for instance, if we did a Warp Prism drop of Zealots on top of the tanks here, it'd do pretty good. You could probably, walk a couple Stalkers into the back here, be a bit of a jerk earlier in the game. Oh yeah, there we go. Now I'm finally taking my gases. I realize, hey, I've got 4 untouched gases here that I should be taking. Because I was worried then, like, oh, I'm out of gas already. Shoot, I'm gonna have to finish this game off with Hellions. Warp Prism speed. He doesn't have any money though. It's not like he can warp in 20 Zealots. Auto turret drop. Getting a little bit of damage here. Free energy, right? Just want to go in there, be as big of a bugger as you can be. Random Seeker missile in the face. Oh yeah, I sent some SCVs to go fight stuff. They're going there. Look at them. They're just still plugging away. Totally forgot about that. So at this point, there's not much that the Protoss player, I think, can do. See the army over here. Widowmines in position. He's going to back out again. Found that I had a tank trapped in there randomly. Finally pull that guy out. Sniped a tank or two for 8 stalkers, so bit of a problem. One immortal in here, just kind of crab walking along. Warps in some zealots. I've got 10,000 minerals. I didn't realize. Well, I guess I got that gold base was chugging along good. Widowmines put in a ton of work. And he's going to lose so much stuff here. And there's his GG. Long game, very strange. I actually had a lot of fun playing it. Shows you can mech against Protoss, though I think a better Protoss player probably would have dealt with that very easily. But whatever. SeKo Starcraft, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll talk with you later.